Hello everyone, this is Geetanjali from Pacific Group, and today we will be discussing a lot about ACS, and I'll appreciate if everyone can put their queries in the message box, and then we will be able to answer. We'll try to answer every.
Perfect.
And whatever we will be discussing today, that will be on a journal note. But everything varies from case to case. So please, to get specific information, book your appointment, come and meet us, and we'll be able to give you a particular information as per your circumstances.
Perfect.
And today I have Kunal Uberoy, one of our migration agents at Asia Pacific Melbourne office, and he will be giving you all the information related to ACS, what is ACS, what ACS does, what's the process, everything, whatever you feel like. So feel free to ask, type your question, and we'll not let Kunal go without answering anything.
Thank you, Geetanjali. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kunal Uberoy. I'm one of the registered migration agents at the Asia Pacific Group, and my MARA number is 221-7721. As Geetanjali mentioned, we'll be discussing the ACS assessment today. So we'll start probably, I think, should we all start? Or
yeah, I think we should start because the ones who are on time, they should not wait.
Okay, fantastic. So we'll get started, guys. So let's move on to what is ACS. So before we do that, as Geetanjali mentioned, let's just do a quick disclaimer, Geetanjali.
Yes.
So the content of this webinar is just for information purposes. So we highly recommend you seeking personal and professional advice in matters related to immigration. So whatever we advise you today will be very general in nature. In order to discuss your particular circumstances, please feel free to book an appointment and we'll be more than happy to help you out. All right.
So we'll start with the very basic thing. So Kunal will explain. I know most of us know, but I think there are some people just like me who got no idea what ACS is when I was not working in the industry. So yes, Kunal will explain us what ACS is.
No problem at all. So ACS is an Australian Computer Society. So it's basically an authorized skill assessing body which conducts the skill assessment for all the ICT occupations, so which is information and communication technology occupations. So say, for example, the occupations you can get assessed with them is that of a software engineer, computer network and systems engineer, ICT business analyst, and so on.
So I can say if I have done anything in IT,
yes,
so I can relate my thing to ACS. ACS can do
absolutely. So that is the actual skill assessing body here in Australia, which helps you to assess your qualification for the purposes of migration.
Perfect.
All right.
And today in this webinar, we'll be discussing ANZSCO code information, that what ANZSCO code is, what groups comes in, what's the ACS assessment processes, what are the qualification requirements for this assessment, what is professional year program, experience requirements both onshore and offshore, and Kunal will be discussing everything step by step, and I think we'll be able to give you a very brief information, but still again, if you have questions, please type in the inbox and we will be able to help you with that.
Fantastic. So let's start off with what's ANZSCO. So ANZSCO basically stands for Australia and New Zealand Standard Classification of Occupations. So what that means, so ANZSCO code information is used to help the applicants in nominating an ICT occupation. And say, for example, so if you have done your ICT and the major of the subjects that you covered were in business analytics, you would say, hey, I want to go as a ICT business analysis or analyst, and the ANZSCO group for that would be 261111. So what basically ANZSCO has done, so it has divided the major or the most popular occupations in four unit groups, Geetanjali. So we'll have a look in the next slide as to what I mean by that. So
yeah, because if you ask me what a unit group is, I might say, what does that really mean?
No problem at all.
So the first unit group, 2613. Now Kunal will tell what it is actually.
Okay, so the first unit group, 2613, is basically the parent group. So if you have a look at all the occupations that could be assessed, are analyst programmer, developer programmer, software engineer, software tester, software and applications programmer, not elsewhere classified. So if you have a look at their ANZSCO code, Geetanjali, you'll see that the first 4 digits of all the occupations are exactly the same.
So does that mean that's a surname for the family?
Yeah.
And all the children have their own name.
Absolutely right. So the parent is just 2613, which is a software and applications programmer, and all these other 5 are their children, as you said, very rightly in a layman, they are actually the children of that unit group.
And I can read one thing here, the abs.gov.au. What is ABS?
Yeah.
What purpose it serves for the assessment and everything?
All right. So before we jump over to the ABS, I believe most of you would have questions as to, I mean, what purpose does having a same unit group serve? So say, for example, answering that question, if you have a positive skill assessment as a software engineer, right, which is 261313, but then at the time of applying for your GSM visa, you have a look at the trend of invitations and you think, no, I think analyst programmer is being invited more than the other occupation. So what you can then do, we can get you assessed under the analyst as well. And the chances of success or you getting a positive skill assessment are very high just because they share the same unit group. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay, so if I might have a skill assessment in something else, but then I think the other occupation is getting more invitations, so it's easy for me to get invited there as well.
Absolutely, because they share the same
surname.
Same surname, exactly
we
right.
are not the same surname, so they
absolutely. All
so,
right, so now I'll get on to your second question. What does abs.gov.au do? So abs.gov.au is an Australian website that tells you as to what duties should a person nominating an occupation of ANZSCO code 261311 do, or what sort of tasks and responsibilities should they be doing. So I would recommend all of you to go onto this website and look for what you really want to do and see as to the duties. Does it entail what you're actually doing or what you would want to do in the near future? And if you think you are ticking probably 70 or 80% of those job duties, I think you are suitable to lodge your skill or lodge your positive assessment under that ANZSCO code. Make sense?
Makes sense, yes. So it means that it's not what I feel like. If I think I'm working as a, I'll say, developer programmer, but my duties in my reference letter or anything which shows on my contract should be related to the ABS website.
Spot on.
So that I can get, otherwise it's not just I believe I'm working, so it doesn't work in that way.
Absolutely right. So the duties are laid down on the abs.gov.au website. So that should match nearly 70
to 80%. It's very important, guys. You should have a good agent who can help you to decide the things in the beginning only. So you don't regret after 1 year of completion of your job that you have spent 1 year there, and then the jobs and the duties which are mentioned in your contract or reference letters is not actually related
suitable
to your
for that occupation.
Yeah, very important to choose the right agent.
All right, so let's talk about the next unit group, Geetanjali, which is the unit group of 2631. That's for computer network professionals. Now, again, the occupations that sit under this parent group are computer network and systems engineer, network administrator, and network analyst. And what qualifications you need in order to get a positive assessment under this unit group is you need at least your MIT with networking units or Masters of Information Systems or MIT with prior 4 years bachelor's in engineering,
Okay.
majoring in computer science. So
Okay.
engineering in computer
So
science.
anything related to engineering, computer science,
Mhm.
or networking.
Absolutely. So
Can go
bachelor's
under
in,
this unit group.
yes, spot on. So bachelor's in computer science. And after that, you should have done your MIS or MIT with, yeah, so that will get you a positive skill assessment under this unit group. So sorry, guys, I know that we have all this data, so which has again been taken from the ABS website, which we wouldn't go into detail. Otherwise, I don't want every one of you to be leaving this webinar. You'll really get bored. So I would let you read of your relevant, duties and description of employment in your own time. And any questions, please feel free to give us.
So we just gave this information as a reference for one particular occupation. But again, for everything, we can go in detail. When you make an appointment, you come to us. We'll go through with everything in related to your profile, and we'll decide what's the best for you.
Absolutely.
So the next unit group we have is, or in my language, the next surname we have is 2621.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So 2621, which is the database and systems administrator and ICT security specialist. Again, the little kids under this group, as you call it in the layman's language, a database administrator, ICT security specialist, and systems administrator, right? So again, same unit group, you can get assessment under any of these 3 occupations, okay? All right, let's jump on to the last unit group, which is a very, very popular amongst most of the students. And that is a unit favorite one. Most favorite one, absolutely right. So that is a unit group 2611, which is the ICT business and systems analyst. So now, again, you could either nominate an occupation of ICT business analyst, or you could even get the positive skill assessment for a systems analyst. All right.
Yes, so now we will talk in detail about the ACS assessment process, that what's the process, what are the things one should consider before starting the process, and how long, everything. So Kunal will explain us everything step by step, that what the process is.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Geetanjali. So what ACS does is ACS basically wants you to have completed a bachelor's degree or a higher degree here in Australia with a major in ICT, or 65% of your component should be in ICT. Plus, you either have a 1-year work experience related to your nominated occupation, or you have your professional year, either or. If you've got these requirements done, most likely you will have a positive skill assessment for your ICT occupation. Now, why do we have to get an ACS assessment? That's the biggest question that everyone asks. ACS assessment is required for someone wanting to go down the pathway of a general skilled migration visa. So very important to have, because you should know what nominated occupation you are going to apply for. You're right. You just can't say, oh, I want to be an ICT business analyst. Let's apply with the EOI with ICT business analyst. Doesn't work that way. The department wants to see on a piece of paper given to you by ACS that you do actually qualify to be an ICT business analyst here in the Australian workplace. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That it's not what I want to be. It's like they want to know what you have studied.
Yes.
And what that studies bring out of you.
Absolutely.
That yes, this is a study related to your this, and now you can become anyone from that ANZSCO code.
Yep.
You can pick something from there. So it is very important to get a skill assessment. You can't go for a GSM without getting a skill assessment.
Yep, that's the main requirement for you to go ahead. All right, now let's jump onto the slide, Geetanjali. I think the qualification requirements, like the way I've mentioned, at least 65% of ICT content must be closely related to your nominated occupation for both offshore and onshore qualifications. So again, it comes to the same point. Pick your electives very closely related to the proposed occupation, guys, because at the time of you studying, it's very important to you to be farsighted and see as to what you want to achieve your skill assessment in. if you think you want to be an ICT business analyst, then it's very important for you to choose the electives closely related to your business analyst occupation. Otherwise, you might feel issues later down the track, and then there is no going back, or else you might probably have to do professional year and things like that.
And I think being an education consultant, I'll add on that some students, they pick to go for an MBA and they think that because they're doing a specialization in information system, but because that's an MBA and you're doing all your majors in related to management, that doesn't lead you towards a skill assessment in any of the IT occupations. So if someone tells you that, yes, this course is related to IT, but that course will not lead you towards the skill assessment, because again, as Kunal mentioned, 65% of your course is not related to IT. It's related to more of management. So even it's very important to choose the right course as well.
Yep.
Because when you start, that's the first step towards your journey. So it's very important that you choose the right course to which gives you a right pathway towards your GSM thing.
Thank you for mentioning that, Geetanjali. That's actually a very good point. So it's very important to start off on the right foot, because ACS accredited courses with the accredited universities is what you need to aim for if you're planning to go down the pathway of a GSM visa later down the track. So guys, if you need any help, please feel free to come and speak to Geetanjali. She will help you with all the education related inquiries and anything migration. I'm more than happy to help you out. All right.
It's very important to pick the right courses
at the right time.
At the right time, yes.
Correct.
Okay, and now I'll talk about one very, I think most important question. And I think we get this question a lot from all our students about the onshore experience, because they think that if someone is offering a job in an IT company, it means that will serve my purpose. But I believe that Kunal have a completely different opinion, and he got a fact that this is not how it works.
That you're absolutely right. Now, guys, onshore experience. So a qualification, at least bachelor level with at least 65% ICT content, followed by at least 1 year, which could be minimum 20 hours work experience in the closely related occupation. It's very important to emphasize in a closely related occupation. Right? You cannot be or have done your, all right, I think I'll leave it to the next slide because I don't want to cover everything on this one.
I'll add on, I think the thing you were mentioning ABS, now the role of ABS comes here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Kunal will give us a detailed clarity on that thing in the coming slides.
So again, before we jump on, Geetanjali, on this slide, what I want to emphasize on is for your assessment, either you have 1 year of closely related occupation post the completion of your bachelor's or higher degree, whatever you have done with 65% ICT content. And if you don't have that, then it's a must to have your professional year.
That's the next thing we're talking about. Okay. Here comes your professional
year. Here comes your professional year, which is very popular amongst most of our ICT students. We've seen that in today's market, Geetanjali, especially them being on a student visa, it's very hard for them to get a job pertaining to their own field, or as we mentioned, they might think that they're working in their own field and it might help, but the poor chap would only be working as a admin, a help desk.
Help desk, yes.
That unfortunately is not going to help them with the skill assessment, right? That's when professional year plays a very major and an important role.
Yes.
So when you have done your studies, you go on to a 485 visa, as we all know. That's the time when you need to put your foot down and say, what do I need to do to get my PR? Yes, I need to enroll in my professional year, get it up my belt, right? And that's when I'm ready to lodge my skill assessment. Some people look for the shortcuts. They come to us, they're like, oh, well, I don't want to do professional year. I said, have you got work experience? Yeah, I do have work experience, help desk. And I said, that's not going to help. So even if you don't want to do it, unfortunately, you still need to do it if there is no relevant work experience.
I have come across students who are working in the industry for 6, 7, 8 months, And then the employer said, no, I don't need you anymore.
Absolutely.
And then they have wasted that much time of their 485 as well.
Correct.
So that's a very, for me, I think professional, it's good you have experience.
Yes.
And if you are in your, like, particular, as you mentioned, as per the ABS, everything, but it's very important you do your professional year, because it's a confirmed thing that you'll get your skill assessment. Plus, it offers you 3 months internship, which actually give you a opportunity to enter in your own exact field.
Absolutely right. You can dictate after
Yes.
doing your professional year. You can dictate, no, I want to be ICT business analyst, or I want to be a software developer.
Yes.
Because you have got your professional year and ACS cannot refuse you. But when you do it on the basis of your work experience, they will only see what you have worked as. They will match your duties. It limits, absolutely. It limits your opportunities, and then you get an outcome which is no longer favorable, or the state doesn't even want those occupation people in for a 491 or 190, and then you're stuck again.
Yes.
So and I highly recommend.
It can only be done on 485, no other visas. So once you missed it, you missed it. There is no alternative for this. So make sure you enroll for your professional year, and Asia Pacific Group offers you the best tuition fee for professional year.
That is
and
correct.
You'll save a lot if you enroll through a professional year from Asia Pacific Group. So if you are planning to do your professional year, do leave us an email, comment, or your number. Yeah. We'll get back to you with the best deal in the market.
I think we do provide scholarships as well, yes, isn't it?
And the best scholarships.
Yeah, because I was doing it for my brother, and we did it on our own, not knowing that, and it worked out to be around 5,000 more expensive than getting it done through big people out there who provide the volume to that professional.
So if you do it from Asia Pacific Group, you'll save a lot of money.
Okay.
So do contact us.
That's good to know. Perfect. Thank you, Geetanjali. Now, I'll quickly take you through this professional year. So what it does. So again, relevant qualification plus 1 year of or 10 months to be precise of professional year leads you to a positive skill assessment. And on top of that, you do get 5 points for your EOI or a general skilled migration, which is a points-based visa.
And a confirmed skill assessment.
Absolutely. No ifs and buts. Exactly.
So now we'll talk about, again, as you mentioned, I'll go in detail, experience year, experience or professional year. So Kunal will explain us in detail that how it works.
All right. So what happens is, as I said, or as I've mentioned several times now, either experience or a professional year. Now let's see what a professional year alone does. So if you've got your qualification plus 10 months of professional year, yes, it does get you an outcome of, positive skill assessment. And on top of that, you get 5 points for your EOI, like the way I've mentioned before. Now, if you don't have a professional year and you just want to get your degree assessed on the basis of your experience, then yes, you will get a positive skill assessment. And again, if you have an Australian employment, which is equivalent to, I think, 20 hours per week, you do get 5 points. If you've got 1 year, if you've got 3 years, that will go up to 10 and so on. So 5 years, I think it gives you up to 15 points. Whereas if you've got overseas employment, which is again in the nominated or closely related occupation in the last 10 years, which again, at least 20 hours a week, paid work, for 3 years, you get 5 points. 5 years gets you 10, and 8 years gets you 15 points. Okay. Now, what if you've got both experience and professional year, which is a win-win, which is really great.
5 plus 5, at least for 1 year.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think it's very important to do your professional year, because that will secure 5 points plus definitely a positive skill assessment.
Definitely a positive skill assessment.
No chances.
No question asked.
No question asked.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so now I want to ask you, if I have an onshore experience, I want to get it assessed, what documents are, I know there are a lot, but what are the basic documents we need?
So the basic documents that you need in order to get your skill assessment done on the basis of your experience here in Australia, Geetanjali, the first one will be your qualification documents, like the completion letter and transcripts of what you have studied here in Australia. The second, which is a very, very, very important thing, is an experience reference letter with the duties. Now I'll touch, yep, absolutely right. I'll talk more about the one in my next slide, but let's leave it here for now. The third thing that we need is at least 2 proofs. So one could be your payslip, which is very highly recommended, along with your bank statement showing the money going in every fortnightly or every monthly, whatever arrangement you hold with your employer. And again, if there is a superannuation or employee provident fund, that could be shown, and your tax documents in order to make the application stronger. Now let's get on to experience reference letter. So the reason we emphasize on this so much, guys, is that we have seen clients come to us saying that we have been working with, I'm not going to name the employers, but all I can say for now is they're actually quite big employers. The guy has done his, bachelor's in IT, and he's working as a business analyst. And again, they had no idea to refer to the ABS. Okay. So he signed up for the job of a business analyst. He's working in there. I said, look, go to the ABS website and see, is your resume or your day-to-day tasks include any of those tasks mentioned on the ABS for a business analyst? And he went in there. He was really disappointed to see that I think it was only 20 or 30%, which was matching to what he was doing. And I said, okay, well, if that's the case, but do speak to your leading manager or your direct line manager and see if he can mention those duties on your experience reference letter. And guess what?
They said no?
They said no.
Oh.
They said no, bluntly, we are not going to write it. You were hired. It was advertised on Seek. We have a clear, transparent idea at the time of giving you, yep, you never asked for this. You signed up for this. I'm sorry, we're not going to sign on any document. So I'm not saying that all of them are going to be like that, but I'm saying is what we can do proactively to avoid those sort of mishappenings with our clients in the near future.
It's important when you sign up, you get your contract. If you are looking to claim the points for that experience, always come to your migration agent, check with them that does this job offers my purpose, serves my purpose.
Yes.
That what I'm looking, would it be helpful for that?
Yes.
Would it be considered so that you don't have any disappointments
and wastage of time as well. The guy has wasted so many months, and now the employer is like, I'm not going to write. So, and he didn't do PY, you know why? Because I was like, no, I'm sorted. I've got my, work experience. I don't need it. And now the poor chap.
Anti-clock.
Yeah.
Once your year is started, it goes so quickly.
I know.
That you really can't decide and what really needs to be done.
Yes. So guys, whenever you find a job as a business analyst, just for argument's sake or whatever, make sure that the duties they're offering you match to what is laid down on abs.gov.au. All right, I think I've stressed enough on that point. So let's move on.
The difficult part, that's the offshore experience. So if I'm claiming, I have done a bachelor's, I got 7 years, 8 years experience, because we get so many profiles like that. People are working for long in the industry and then they come here for masters. What can be done with them? Can they claim points for everything they have done? Or it's just like not really?
All right, perfect. So even though today's agenda is not on the offshore experience, but I'm more than happy to touch base a little on offshore experience, because again, I think this varies from person to person. Circumstances are different. So I prefer people coming to us for a tailored approach or an advice if they do hold any overseas experience. But what I'll discuss or talk about is that if in case you do have a qualification at a bachelor's level with 65% of ICT content, followed by 2 to 3 years full-time experience in a closely related occupation, then only you are able to get your positive skill assessment. Now, if, say, for example, you have done your bachelor's, Geetanjali, but ICT was not the major chunk of it, it was only a minor chunk, then they may ask for 5 years or more of experience. right?
So it's not that easy
It's
as it looks like.
That is correct, but how we present it to the ACS is what matters the most. So guys, please don't take a chance trying to do it on your own, because we have seen lots of negative skills assessment because people think that if they have worked for probably 3 years, all 3 years would be counted, which is not the case. And we will see that in our next slide as well.
Yeah, because I'll add on, because I always say to my clients that if department increase the fees, you will pay them. No
Yes,
questions.
correct.
But the agent who presented to department,
yep,
we always say, oh, you are charging more to us.
exactly.
So I'll say that it's very important to choose a right agent,
Yes.
so that you don't, because once you have presented, we can't change anything.
Absolutely.
That's not in our control, because you have already given them the stuff.
Spot on.
So it's
Yeah.
always good to come before, talk to your agent, get
Yep.
your things sorted,
Yes.
and then take it, so that there is no jump. Then we should always say that, oh, because I was not aware, one of my friends said it's easy, we can do it ourselves. And then all we can do is regret.
Yes, as I keep saying, Geetanjali, there is no one shoe fits all approach here in migration. Everyone is different. Even though you might think, oh, my friend's done it, I'll be able to do the same. You might be surprised later on that it's not the same, and that surprise can cost you a lot.
And you might have an easy plan. You're just following your friend's plan on a difficult thing. So it's always good to go to your agent, discuss your things upfront, and make the right pathway so you don't regret at the end.
Absolutely. So this is what I was talking about, guys. So the deemed date of skilled employment. So say, for example, Geetanjali, well, you had a 3-year bachelor degree. I'll take, for argument's sake, I'll use the dates of, so can we just probably, yeah, that's all right, no problem. So let's say, for example, in 2011, you started your 3-year bachelor degree and you finished it around 2014. And since 2014, you've been working all the way up to 2018.
Yes.
So technically you
So
work.
I'll claim points for 5 years.
You wish. You wish you'll claim points for 5 years. That's not going to be the case. Unfortunately, ACS is very strict and stringent with their approach. They're going to disregard the initial 2 or 3 years.
No, so it means it's going to deduct some of the amount.
Absolutely.
And I might not be eligible to claim anything.
You might not be eligible to claim anything. So guys, please be very careful. If you do need to get your skill assessed based on your offshore experience, you need to have, I mean, I would say rather come and see us, but if you want to do it on your own, make sure you do have at least around 3 to 5 years of experience, because the initial 2 to 3 years get disregarded by the ACS.
Now I request Kunal to quote some examples.
Yep.
So to make it a bit clear that what we have done in the past, how we, like sometimes I might think, oh, I have no experience, so I might not get my skill assessment, I have no POI, but there is always, I'll say,
always a way out.
Always a way out, but we just need to focus how we can find that way out.
Yeah.
So now Kunal will explain us some examples. So
sure, thank you, Geetanjali. Now, these are the examples of the positive skill assessment that we have received from the ACS. So these are the few extracts or the snippets that we have taken from those letters. So this is a good example, Geetanjali, where the client, she had her Masters of Business Analytics from Deakin University. And prior to that, she had a Bachelor's of Science from University of Mumbai, completed in May 2018. Now, she did her professional year. That's why it's very easy for her. As you can see, she got awarded under ANZSCO code 26111, which is an ICT business analyst. So again, Masters plus professional year, she got awarded ICT business analyst. So that is a straightforward approval. We will jump over to the next slide, which will reiterate more what I was talking about previously about the offshore experience. So we had this fairly interesting case where a client comes to us. She's done a Master's of Technology in Software Engineering from Federation University here in Australia. Her bachelor's was BCA, Computer Science, right? She didn't want to do professional year. She didn't have any work experience at all, but she did hold nearly 5 or 6 years experience back in India. So as you can see, the following employment, so ACS, do you think ACS actually accepted all of those 5 years?
No.
There you go, exactly right. So have a look from the bottom all the way to up. So that the following employment has been assessed as not suitable. So all the nearly 2-year experience she had working as a PHP developer, the ACS was not happy to approve that or assess that experience. And they said, we do not assess it due to insufficient payment evidence. And do you think there was insufficient payment evidence? That's not the case. We made sure, we made the application very, very, very strong, provided all the evidence, letters from her ex-managers, all the, provident funds, but they just do it because they don't deem you skilled enough. So that's what I mean. They will disregard or deduct your initial 2 years of work experience.
You're coming to the level of Australian bachelors?
Absolutely. They said after 2 years plus 3 years of your qualification, 5 years after is when we hold you equivalent to the level of Australian qualification. And that's when we do it. So later on, when she did it from 1st of 2017 to 1st of 2019, 2 years and 1 month, they accepted that. They said, yep, perfect. We are happy with that qualification. So based on that, we are happy to give you the outcome of our web developer.
Yes.
So these are the few examples that, yep. So you gotta be careful how you present your case with the ACS. And again, like the way you said, once damage is done, it's done because it gets recorded on their database. And it's not that, oh, I'm now gonna go, I've done the damage. I'm not gonna go to the migration agent and he'll fix it up. No. We'll try our level best, but the thing is,
the scars will always be there.
Absolutely, exactly right.
Can't get it. So it's very important to choose the right agent. Choose the agent. If you want to go with the agent, choose it at the beginning only. So you don't have any regrets. Why I did this, why I put this document wrong.
Absolutely.
Somebody advised me, that's why I didn't know. That, see, we can sit with you and listen to your story, but we can't help you.
Exactly.
So it's important, make the right decision in the beginning only so that you pick up the right path for you to go ahead with your GSF.
Yeah. And again, guys, if you do think you've got anything to discuss, we are more than happy to help you out. If you do want complimentary, consultation or advice, I'm happy to offer complimentary advice from 10 to 12
in the
morning. So please feel free to come see us in the office or make a phone call. We are more than happy to help you out. All right.
And I think we discussed everything. So we'll quickly take the questions. We are displaying at the moment our office addresses, which are located in Australia, Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide. But even still, someone is in any other place, we can always help you. We can do everything on phone. COVID has taught everyone that everything can go online.
Correct.
So we can help you from any part of Australia. And yes, we'll take some quick questions now. Okay.
All right.
So Rohit asked one question. Whenever you have time, can you please, if I can do skill assessment, if I work on ABN as a subcontractor, I have 1 year full-time experience.
Okay. What we'll do, Rohit, it's a very good question. First of all, thank you very much. What I'll do, I will have to look into it. So I rather reckon you leave your details with us. Please leave us your phone number. I'm more than happy to have a chat to you tomorrow, anytime from 9 to 5. You tell me what time suits you the most, and we'll have a detailed conversation.
Yeah, because this thing need more specification.
Yeah, correct.
Because we need to check how you are working, what you are getting, what you are like. It's a lot of factors which he needs to consider.
Yeah.
And then he can give you detailed information that if it can work and if it can't work, how it can work.
Absolutely.
So we can make a plan for you that what's the best for you to go ahead, that you can claim some points on that.
Spot on. Thank you.
And then you have mentioned you have done India and tech analysis from here. So yes, again, as we mentioned, Rohit, you leave your number to me and then I'll be able to, yes, I'll be able to get you all the answers.
Perfect.
Okay.
Arihant says, where is this info available? This information is available with Asia Pacific Group, Kunal and Geetanjali. So please feel free to give us a buzz anytime and we'll be more than happy to help you out.
Yes. So whatever we have mentioned here, everything is taken from the authorized websites. But yes, for the detailed information, book an appointment with Kunal for migration. And if it's related to education, make an appointment with me. And we both will be more than happy to help you. If you have a query related to education and migration, we both can help you together.
Perfect.
So just make an appointment and we'll be glad to inform you with everything, whatever things you want to know.
Great, thank you.
Sarabjit wants to ask, can overseas studies be assessed?
Absolutely, that's what we spoke about, Sarabjit. We are more than happy to assist you with assessing your overseas studies. So please feel free to, again, give us a buzz or a call and we can discuss and look at your particular scenario and advise you in the best possible manner.
Yes. Arihant wants to know why they discard those 2 years.
I know. Look, I've been asked that question so many times, Arihant, and I wish I had an answer to that. But unfortunately, this is not something that you can dispute or you can, contest it with them. It's their discretion. They think that 3 years of qualification plus 2 years of work experience is deemed employment suitable for you here in Australia. That's just their guideline, which we cannot really contest.
That's their standard criteria.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So unfortunately, we can't do anything about it. I wish we can, but no, not the case.
Thank you for asking, Shahbaz. We are doing good and we hope the same for you.
Thank you, Shahbaz.
Yes, Rohit, you can visit tomorrow. What I'll do, I'll just type our email address here quickly.
Yeah.
So you can make an appointment with us. I'm meeting now. I'm not really great, but I'll
everyone,
just
yeah, probably
so that's
everyone.
Rohit wants to come. So what I'll do, Rohit, I'll send you email. Sorry guys, I'll quickly take the next question, but I'm not that rated.
That's all right. I'll read it in the meantime, Geetanjali.
Yes.
So Arihant wants to know again, where can I find the duties of different professions? Can you please provide a link? Yep, Arihant, the link, you could go on to abs.gov.au. So again, it's abs.gov.au. If you type in your ANZSCO code there or just the name of occupation, it will give you an outline or a detailed job profile and duties, what's needed of you as a say business analyst or whatever occupation you
Yes, so Rohit, I have sent you migration at Asia Pacific migration at asiapacificgroup.com. That belongs to Kunal. Oh, I missed my R, so it's G Nahar, GNAHAR at asiapacificgroup.com. That's for me, Geetanjali. And you can email us or you can just simply come and ask for Kunal or Geetanjali and we'll be able to help you.
Perfect.
Okay, so Arihant, where I can find? I think Kunal has already answered. Okay, Jay wants to know, does ACS reduce 2 years for onshore experience as well if I have done masters here in Australia?
Okay, no, the answer to the question, luckily, is no, Jay. As we mentioned, only 1 year experience is the requirement in the nominated, closely related occupation, or the nominated occupation is what you need in order to get your positive skill assessment. So no, onshore experience is not deductible at all.
Sorry, I'm struggling to read your name, Treong, but you said, can I have the slide? Unfortunately, this slide is only for official purposes. As we mentioned in the very beginning of our webinar, that all the information we are discussing is on a generic basis. So there is nothing, I'll not say it's specific. So these slides are giving you overall information. If you want to know in detail for your profile, please make an appointment for migration with Kunal, for admission with me, and come to us or drop your number, we'll call you and then we'll be able to discuss in detail
Yes.
what are your requirements, and we'll give you all the information.
Yeah.
What is suitable for your circumstances. So these slides will not really
serve your purpose.
Serve your purpose, darling.
So I'm more than happy to speak to you over the phone, Trong. So even today, I'm here until 6 o'clock or tomorrow, whenever you're ready. So please feel free to leave your number and I'll be more than happy to give you a buzz.
Yes, Trong, you again mentioned that can you get in your email? Again, I'm really sorry, darling, but this is only for official purposes. So we won't be able to email you this as well. But again, please feel free to come, make an appointment and talk to us. We will be able to give you one-to-one consultation as per your circumstances.
Yeah.
And make a best plan for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Do you have to move?
Thank you, Jay.
Rohit, see, if you book an appointment, you don't need to wait. That's the good point with appointment.
Correct.
So otherwise, you can walk in between 10 to 12, or you can walk in between 10 to 5.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Please walk in between 10 to 12. Rohit, I'll be more than happy to make some time for you. So no worries. And even if I'm not there, I'll pass you on to my other fellow migration agents, and they're equally capable and will be able to help you out in the best possible manner. Okay.
Yes. You said you might be, that's okay whenever you feel like coming.
Yeah,
you can
fine.
always come in as a walk-in. We are not saying that we are not taking walk-in. So you can always come whenever you have time.
Yeah.
We are open 9:30 to 6. So please feel free to come anytime. We are a team of agents and education consultants, and we'll be able to help you with all your queries. My question is, I have completed my PY, done skill assessment, also working as a system engineer part-time and going to complete 2 years. This 21st of July, do I need to do skill assessment again to clear 5 points, or no need? Because I have done already when I complete my PY. Thank you.
So there are 2 questions here. Sorry, I missed the name. Shabazz. There are 2 questions here. So you said you already got your skill assessment done. I believe at that time, so when you got your skill assessment, I'm not sure as to how many years of experience. I believe you would have done it on the basis of your professional year, right? So if it was just based on your professional year, then yep, you would only get 5 points for your professional year. But if you do want to get your skill assessed, as in like your work experience assessed, I would rather say put in another application for your work experience assessment, because the department is only gonna provide you points based on how many years the ACS is gonna deem applicable. And closely related, same thing, closely related to your nominated occupation. So very important for you to do or get another skill assessment done and get them to assess your work experience this time as well.
Because as Kunal has mentioned before as well, that you might think that you are working in that occupation, and
Correct.
I'll say you satisfy the requirement, but maybe ABS is saying something else.
Different, yes.
So it's important you come to your agent, get the things clear, and then apply for skill assessment, so you don't have a question mark anywhere.
Any shocks later
clear.
on.
Yes,
Yeah,
so you're all clear whether it's good for you or it's not, and if it's not, what can be done.
Shabazz, it's pretty interesting, I'll be honest. I would be more than happy to help you out with your skill assessment. So if you do want to give me a buzz later on today or tomorrow, we can chat and we can take it from there, okay? So yeah, please feel free to give me a call.
Okay, Imanthi wants to know, do we need a skill assessment when we apply for PR?
Absolutely. In the absence of a PR, Imanthi, again, there are different ways for you to apply for your PR. I believe you mean if you go down the pathway of a general skilled migration, which is a 491, 189, 190. If you do, then yes, you definitely require your skill assessment to go down that pathway. The other pathway is a temporary skill shortage 482, which is, again, I'm not going to open up the can of worms. It's a full-on process, but in a nutshell, no, you don't actually need a skill assessment for your 482. But if you are going to go down the pathway of a general skilled migration visa, it's 110% very mandatory and important for you.
You can't apply for any GSM
correct
without a skill assessment. So darling,
hope that answers your question.
Yes, you do need your skill assessment. Okay, Arihant wants to ask something. do we have to update our LinkedIn profile to match what we say on our experience?
Okay,
letter?
nope, Arihant, that's not a legal requirement. Well, you can if you want to make other people looking for, potential candidates aware that this is what you have up your sleeve or up your belt, but it's no such legal requirement for you to update your LinkedIn profile. All right.
So I think we answered almost everyone, but if anyone we missed out to anything or anyone wants to ask anything, or maybe after we finish the session, you have a question that you want to ask, but you missed to ask us, please feel free to email us migration@asiapacificgroup.com, GNAHAR, gnahar@asiapacificgroup.com, or you can simply go to our website www.asiapacificgroup.com, make an appointment with one of us or any of our team members. We will be able to help you with all your queries and we'll try our best to give you the best pathway.
Best PR pathway.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Geetanjali.
Thank you
and
so much,
thank you for all
everyone.
your participation, guys. We thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to speak to you guys very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Care.
Have a good evening.
No
Thank you
worries,
so much
Shabazz.
for joining.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, man. Bye for now. Bye.